Hi everyone. Today, in honor of 2020, that wonderful year, we are going to do a self-portrait, but with a facial covering. So what I'm going to do is focus on a little lesson on just eyes, eyebrows, and hair, since the rest of it will be covered with a face mask. And you can, I'm suggesting doing graphite again, but you can make your facial covering, add color, like colored pencil. You can actually even make it removable. This was my little cow that I did this spring, and I'm calling it COVID-19, and I did make a removable mask that can go on there. So you could do the same thing, create cut out a mask out of another piece of paper and put it on there, or just probably the best thing is just to draw it on your face so that you don't have to draw the rest of the face. It's kind of up to you. So on your Google Classroom, I'm going to have a copy of this, and some of you guys that have taken my class before might actually have one of these. But you can print it out and use it, or just refer to it. And there will also be this step-by-step kind of thing. But I think we'll go through it step by step. And what I'd like you to maybe do is have a little piece of, not the best paper, but just a nice piece of drawing paper or a newsprint, and follow along and try to do the eyes. And it helps to have a reference, like a photo of yourself or a mirror in front of you, so you can observe all those things. So what you want to look for here is the placement of the facial features. And I've had this little egghead handout for years that I got from somewhere, and it's a little bit off, I think, but basically the eyes are in the middle of the head if the head is looking front face and not tilting. And if you're going from the top of the head to the bottom of the chin, the eyes are about halfway. And this is what throws people off. And a lot of times I've had people use these as the eyes. What we want to do is get away from that left brain symbol where we put eyes like this way up here. And there's the eyeball, or the iris, of course, and eyebrows, and here's a nose, and then of course we have to have two nostrils, and then here's the mouth, and then here's ears, and then hair goes up here. Okay, it's great for cartoon, but when you look at a real face, things are much different. For one thing, right away, in most people, the iris, which is the colored part of the eye, is actually cut off a little bit when your eye is relaxed. The upper lid is kind of cuts it off a little bit. Unless you have really wide eyes. I know my husband's eyes, irises tend to be full circle, but usually that's just sort of a symbol. And since we don't know how to draw a nose from the front, we always draw it from the side. And quite often you can't even see the nostrils. So what I've done with classes is indicate the nose as just kind of a continuous curve, almost like a seagull kind of thing, if you look at the nose here. And it depends on the angle. If you're looking down at it, you'll see less nostril. And if you're looking up, you can see nostrils. But and then a mouth is composed of many lines. The upper line of the upper lip, the lower line of the lower lip, and then this very sensitive line between the lips that indicate the different muscles that are in the lips. Everybody's eyebrows are different, so this little thing here shows maybe where the very tops of the eyebrows are. So I took a couple pictures of myself here. Yeah. And if you're going to take a photo of yourself instead of a mirror, consider a couple of things. First of all, the lighting. So these were all done in different lighting. This is indoor lighting in the studio. This is facing one direction. This is facing a little bit different direction. And so you'll get different shadows and so on. And then as soon as you start to smile, the eyes kind of crinkle up. Unfortunately, I poked my eye somehow last night, so I'm having a lot of trouble with this eye being a little bit teary and so on. So I don't know what's going on there, but it's getting better. So notice how, you know, and I have very squinty eyes when I smile, so that will change. But if you want to do, you know, especially if you're doing a facial covering, you might want to just keep your eyes open a little bit more. And usually when you look at a portrait, a self-portrait that an artist has done, there's this intense look on their face because they're concentrating. And so you don't always get that little photo smile that you see. Okay, but I'm going to use this, and one of the things that this, we'll look for these facial features on that in just a minute. One of the things you want to notice is that the eyes are about 1 eye width apart. So if you measure from corner to corner on your eyes, then it's about that much distance between them. And then this shows quite a bit of space, almost like another eye and more, but really, because the face is curved, you're not going to get a full eye width on the side. So if you look at this, it's much less because the face is going around. Now remember, this is front view, not tilted, not looking up, not looking down. So it changes, you know, so we've just got a basic front view here. But the important thing is look at those eyes halfway up. And this is the hairline, and I think that's what throws us off, why we make eyes so high when we're little kids or don't know what we're doing yet, is we forget that the hairline is actually down here and the eyes are more here. Okay. And I think on this egghead, the nose bridge is a little far, the eyes are a little high, and I think that the nose is, you know, the very tip of the nose might be down here. These are plumb lines that you would drop if you were doing a full face. Right in the middle of the eye, if you drop down, that's where the corners of the mouth would hit. And again, this is the average face, not everybody's a little different. The ears go from about the eyebrow line down to the tip of the nose. So, and they don't, if you look, they don't stick out sideways. Even sticky out ears don't stick out sideways. They're very different. They hug the face a little bit more because we're seeing them in from the side, like foreshortened. Okay, so if I take my face here and I put a piece of tracing paper over it, I could kind of see if this facial oval, or this egghead as I sometimes call it, works. So here's my eye line, here's my nose line, or the tip of the nose. It's actually more like that, you know, so there's the tip of the nose, there's the mouth line. And so, yeah, my hair's a little puffy. So if we look at that, oops, let's go ahead and put where the eyes are. And so the reason that sometimes I'll have you start with a circle is that indicates the socket on a skull. And so there's the eyes right there. You know, if you look at corner to corner. And so they're about an eye width apart. And there's the eyebrows. So it's not too far off what we get here. Okay, now let's consider one other thing. I'm assuming you might want to do a front face. And I just wanted to show you this because I like it. But anyway. So as soon as, I like to show you these just because the eyebrows, look at how different eyebrows are on everybody. And here's, you know, these eyebrows are, and of course we're looking down a little bit on him. I remember the secretaries in one of my schools where I taught, they wanted copies of this. So I gave them extra copies. They put them up in their office. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about the head angle. And if you are not straight up and down, and you're getting a tilt, this is what happens. The eyes, let's go to my face again, wherever it is. Okay, so if you look at the line of the eyes from corner to corner to corner to corner, and then the nose bridge, it's usually at right angles. It would be at right angles. So if my head is tilting in the photo, you want to establish the line of the eyes, and so you can get the tilt of the nose, and then the mouth will be at the same parallel tilt as the eyes. So that might be one of the first things you establish if you're looking at a photo. So if I'm looking at this, let me get a longer pencil. The first thing I might want to do is say, okay, on my paper, here's the tilt of my eyes, of the eyes. And then the nose is going to be at right angles of that. And then the mouth, wherever it is, will be at the parallel line. And so that can help you get started. Now, here's the thing. This is still facing the front. What happens, and this is the opposite tilt here. What happens if it starts to turn to 3/4? Now you still have the eyes. This is facing up, so look at the eye line is horizontal, just like it would be in one of these, horizontal. But the nose has moved over, and so the nose line is going off to the side, and you're seeing less of this eye because it's going around the corner, and maybe only one nostril, and less. That midline between the lips has now moved over, so it's going around the corner. And here's one where she's looking down a little bit. We're getting, if we assume that there's more of the top of the head up here, where the eyes are going a little lower on the page, it's 3/4. And so you have a lot of things to establish. Here's one looking up. Now the eyes are higher than halfway. The mouth starts to look down. We're seeing up the nostrils, so we get a lot more chin area. So that's important to establish that. So here's my head on a stick, and this is front face. And then look what happens as it tilts. Everything moves to the side, and then if you're looking down at it, things lower. If you're looking up at it, the features raise. And then there's also the actual tilt of the head. So you can, there's a lot of things that can throw you off. So if we take something like this, and I want to establish, let me get a new piece of paper here, sorry. And you're trying to work from a photo, and you want to establish, the very first thing is the angle of the face, because what happens is our crazy old bossy left brain wants to bring everything to the front, even if it's not facing front, and wants to put it straight up and down. So what I do first is establish that, make sure your photo is even with the paper, and establish that angle. Then you know that the nose is at right angles to that, the nose bridge. Now, look at the amount of negative space that's to the left, or to the right and the left of the eye. And you can see right away, this is now, it's not only tilted, but it's 3/4. So if we put here's the nose bridge right here. If we tuck this eye in here, and then bring the other eye out here, we can see that this contour line, there's the brow ridge there, is coming out. And there, look at how much space is next to the nose compared to way over here. So, And there's the mouth line. It's at right angles to the eye. So you want to establish that head tilt and the angle, right angle, whether you're looking up or down. This is about, not looking up or down, because if you look at the top of the head, the eyes are about halfway still. So it isn't like it's changed. So those are important things to establish right off the bat. Now let's assume you're just doing your good old front face here. And that's what I'm going to do with my face. And we'll take a look, we'll draw some eyes. And actually, I think I'll probably use these eyes because they're a little more open, or possibly I'll just do a generic eye. Okay, so first thing I want to do is draw like that facial oval. So it's, and you know, you can just kind of move your arm around and around till you feel like you're close to it. Or you can go ahead and trace that egghead that I'm giving you on the website. But keep in mind that we're going to do a lot of cutting in from this and sculpting afterwards. So this isn't exactly accurate. So I'm already making mine a little narrower. So then I establish my eyes halfway. And I'm going to go ahead and put circles to show the whole, if you can feel your eye socket like a skull. Since we're close to Halloween, you might even have a skull lying around your house. So I'm going to make these circles to indicate that that opening. I think it's called the occipital orbit, but I might be wrong on there. And then it's about another eye between that. Then I'm going to establish my nose line. There's my nose, there's my mouth. And this will be covered up with a mask, so I don't have to worry about that. And my hairline, which is right here. Okay, so let's draw an eye. And I'm going to use a nice big eye here. So for my eye, I have my occipital orbit, and let's do, oh, you can tell, can you guys tell what side of the face this is on? Which side the nose is on? If you look at this little thing here, this little sticky outy thing, like the tear duct or whatever you want to call it, that's telling us that this is the nose side over here. And you can see it right here. So this is the nose side and this is the nose side. So let's go ahead and draw, let's use this and let's draw this eye. One thing you want to keep in mind is that the upper lid tends to be more curved like a rainbow, and the lower lid is flatter. Now that's exaggerated, but let's go ahead and show that curve, and you guys can follow along with me. And then we'll do a contour here. We'll do that sticky outy part of the eye that's on the nose side and come up. Okay. Now, one thing is there's another line. This is where the eyelid goes back in. It's like a crease. So we're gonna, you can see it a little bit here. We're gonna show that. You can go ahead and draw that. And then you're going to draw the iris, which is, you know, partially cut off. Now be careful that you don't do it like this. It is a circle. Even though you can't see the whole top of the circle, draw it as a circle. Okay? And then depending on how much light is in the room where you are, you'll get a pupil. And since this is the full circle, the pupil will be in the center, so it will appear to be higher up, even though it really isn't. You can cut off a little bit of the bottom of the iris too. Now let's, in this case, let's have the sunlight coming from that direction. And when we fill in this, that will make a difference. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right here. And I'm going to make my open eye a little bit more. And then if you have the iris going off a little bit to the side, then you have to make sure the other iris goes in the same direction, or you'll get it cross-eyed or wall-eyed or something. Okay, and there's my pupil. Now the pupil is going to be really dark. I'll get out some other pencils here. Here's a 3B, here's a 9B. And so I'm going to fill in part of the pupil, but I'm going to leave a little sparkle of light. So I'm going to fill it in just like a crescent moon. So there's a sparkle of light that is hitting it, and you can kind of see it on this. It depends. We'll just, you know, if the light's coming from this side. And then we're going to make, if you look at how the coloring is in the iris, instead of filling it in solid, we're going to go a little dark around the outside edge, and then we're going to fill it in like sun rays. So you guys can do this on yours. And I'll go ahead and do it. Fill this in here. And I filled it in a little too much, so I'm going to erase out my crescent moon. And I'm going to take, let's do a 3B here. And I'm going to fill this in. I think at this point, you want to get rid of your lines going through the middle of the eyes too. I forgot about that. And let's keep this here for a minute. You can get rid of this upper part, kind of. And I'm going to continue with the big one. Now, this is an eyeball in here. So we're going to cut off where it's white and leave this in here a little bit. And actually, we're going to do some shading using our graphite. I'm going to do a little shading to show that it's round. So it's not pure white. And then I'm going to shade this in a little bit. So I'm going to shade in a little bit of that eyeball. And then I'm going to shade this. So this is the color of the eye. And if you have lighter eyes, like mine are a little blue-gray, kind of like hers, then it'll be lighter. And if you have darker eyes, then you'll want to fill it in darker. Okay, so we've started to get a little bit of that eye in there. Now, if you look, see this part right here? That the bags under the eyes, and that's actually indicating the end of the, and they probably, you know, airbrush that out here. But everybody has them, even newborn babies. And so you want to indicate a little shading on that. And that's going to be where this is. So I'm going to erase this line where the hole in the skull is. And I'm going to put a little bit of shading in here to show that. So it's starting to come alive a little bit. Okay. Now how about the nose bridge? If you have light coming from this side, like I had indicated, you would have it darker on one side. So let me start to grab some dark color. Let's maybe I'll use the tissue and get a little graphite powder. If you want to do it all in colored pencil, that's great. You just have to watch your pressure. The harder you push on the colored pencil, and you can blend colors, get some darker and lighter skin tones in there to get the values, but I think it's easier if you do pencil. And on your face mask, this is where you can get creative and come up with, you know, either invent your own face mask or use a fancy one that you have, and instead of just a plain old white one. And notice on your face mask that it's going to have some undulations on it. So here's the nose bridge here. And on, let me see if I can find one where the lighting is the right way. Well, this was sort of front lighting. It may be coming a little bit from this side. So I'll start in here with and then this this nose bridge goes right up and connects to the eyebrow. So on the eyebrow, what we're going to do is you're going to draw the shape of the eyebrow. Remember, everybody has different eyebrows. So when you look in the mirror or look at your photo, draw the shape of it. So I'm looking at my eyebrow here, and I'm drawing the shape of it. And then don't fill it in solid. Just kind of fill it in like hairs growing. You can blend it a little bit. Let me find a cleaner blending. But that nose bridge will come right up to that, and then you'll get some shadow in there on both sides. Okay. Then if, in my case, if I wanted to put the nose, I would draw, it's coming out about where the middle of the, let's see, let's do a plumb line. It's coming right just a little bit past the corner of the eye, and then the mouth line comes right about to the middle of the eye, that plumb line. So I'm going to go down and then you want to bring it around to show. If you feel the end of your nose, there's this little kind of ball on the end of the nose, so you want to indicate that. And maybe go a little bit darker on where the nostrils would be. Now, I'm going ahead with the face, but you would want to indicate these lines and so on. But let's just, again, focus on getting those eyes and eyebrows in. Now, since I'm an old person, you know, if you want to be true to your self-portrait, put some of those little lines and wrinkles and folds and stuff in, and it kind of gets exaggerated more if you smile. You know, you get more of those little wrinkles and stuff. Okay, so now I'm going to cut in a little bit and figure out how much space is there between the corner of the eye here, and here's some more wrinkles. Got to get those in. Oh, I forgot the eyelashes. Duh. Okay, so let's take a look here. My eyelashes certainly aren't like that, but you don't want to attach the eyelashes to the inside of the eye. There's actually a little line where the eyelashes get attached, especially on the bottom. So draw a little line like that and just put some random little, let's do it on this, just a few. And everybody's are different, but you know, my granddaughters all got great eyelashes, so my kids all got great eyelashes. Somehow they got my husband's, thank goodness. And then on the eyelashes, on the top eyelashes, there's not so many on the inside near the nose line. And don't make them like, you know, like Betty Boop or anything. Just kind of curve them a little bit. You're going to see a little bit more on the outside as they curve out. And my eyelashes get, when I smile a lot, my eyelashes kind of disappear. So I'm not going to see very much on mine. And so there. And actually, you want to indicate that the eyelashes are growing in the front and coming straight out by darkening that. Sorry, I forgot about that. Okay. So let's go back to this one. So I'm just kind of make a dark line and have a few little pokey outy things coming out. Okay. Now the hair. This is kind of fun. Everybody has different hair. Oh, and I was going back in and cutting off the side of the face here. So on both sides. And I'm going to have you on your own, once you do this, then on your own, see if you can do the other one the same way, same steps, only you're reversing, and the little tear duct thing goes there. But make sure that they're level, although, as you can see, my eyes are different. Everybody's a little asymmetrical, especially this eye that got poked yesterday. So, you know, cut in, and I have a pokey outy chin and these little jowls kind of thing here. So kind of establish where that is so that if you have ears showing, you can do that. Since I have only really the bottom of my ears showing, they will line up approximately with the nose line. It depends on the angle of your face. So here is the bottom of my ears lined up about with the bottom of the nose, and the top would be about where the eyebrows are. And you don't see much. I mean, you could have fancy earrings hanging down or whatever. Okay, so as I was going on to the hair, what you want to do is kind of like when we did the animals, or when I did the bells, just give yourselves a base coat of hair. And let me get rid of this. Sort of a mid-value. And then you can use, just like animal fur, look at how much negative space is between different parts of your hair. See how far down that comes? It's almost touching my eyebrows on this side. So don't try and draw in each individual hair. Yet, just give it a base coat. And then you can go in and start to show some movement. In my case, there's a lot of kind of a curliness going on here. But look at the darks and lights. You're going to get some really dark darks. Even in somebody who has white blonde hair, if it's long, you're going to have a really dark area underneath here. Let me see if I can find an example of that. See, a lot of mine don't show. Sorry, I don't have a great example. Let's see. Ooh, nice hair. Yeah, ooh, Bradley Cooper. Not him. Yeah. Okay, so, but yeah, you will get, this will define the edge here if you, except it's going to be covered up by a face mask, but, so you want to squint your eyes and look for darks, dark shapes. And then the texture will kind of come last. Here's where the graphite stick can come in. blend it. And take your time a little bit more than what I'm doing. And then, of course, we have our erasers. Then you can start lifting out. This is my kneaded eraser. And then I have my click eraser. So I'm drawing with that. But you got to get that base coat first, and your darks and before you start lifting out your lights. Okay, and then once you've done this, put on a generic face mask and see what the shape of it is. And draw that in. You know, you might want to have something that looks kind of like this. Draw that in, and where would the bands be going around your ear and so on. And then you can do your decorative stuff on there. Hope that helps. It's a lot of observation, but maybe look at some of those basic things. And I've kind of gone step by step on the eyes, and the nose and the mouth you don't need to worry about, but the hair. Okay. Oh, and then neck. Sorry, if you want to include the neck. If you're a woman, chances are you can kind of look and see where the neck comes out. Mine's coming out of the side right here. You don't want to do that, you know, that left brain thing where you say, okay, here's the face, and then here's the neck, and here's the shoulders, because it isn't necessarily like that. And then you'll get some kind of a neckline here. But think about a guy. A guy is going to have a little broader neck. So you can see how, if you don't establish the gender of it, it could change, you know, and this is a generalization too, but men tend to have broader necks and women tend to have more delicate necks. So you can put on whatever clothing you want. Okay. Get rid of the guy neck here. So, follow along with the video, do this eye, and then turn off the video and try and see if you can repeat this eye, and then do it as a sort of a practice maybe, and then go into doing your actual face, either in the mirror, have a mirror standing up while you work, or have someone take a photo. I think it's easier if someone else takes a photo, and don't do it with, you know, do it in sort of subdued light. This was in shade. All of these were in shade. I didn't have real, this was a little sunnier, or no, actually this was the indoor one. So where I am right now, I have a lot of spotlights on, so that's what got me more lighting. But as you start to shade, keep in mind that once you establish your light source, you know, it will stay. The left side, the right side of the mask here will be darker, and ears, you know, you don't have, you want to really study what the ears are doing and get some shading on that. And there might be hair sticking out past the ears, or ears covering up. Okay? All right. Have fun.